everybody! Today we are going to be talking about Ilia's character motivation. Okay? So, here's what I basically wrote down for this, okay? But before we get started, if you guys want to see these videos early, you guys should be patrons over on Patreon. Just saying, okay? So, here's what I basically, I don't know how to start this, but like, I want to just say things that make sense, okay? Ilia attacking Sun makes sense, alright? Because part of Ilia's motivation is that she has feelings for Blake and they went unrequited because of Adam. And that Adam's kind of a shithead.
Someone, like, just briefly, I think, looking in one of the servers, said that there was, like, the angry betrayed lesbian
I want to talk about
trope.
that in the gay representation video, but I don't think that's what it is.
Actually a trope. I don't think that's a trope needs to happen quite a bit. Like,
I don't think that's even a trope, though, if it is a trope. Like, I don't think that's what she is. She's not obsessive or anything. You know, she didn't follow her to Beacon and, like, spy on her, and that's more Adam. Like, I feel like Ilia's just brokenhearted. Like, why can't, like...
Brokenhearted, and then, and like, the energy she gave to her...
to loving Blake turned into...
just anger for
that
has always sort of been there.
Yeah. And so I feel like that's a good way to put it. Again, I want to talk about this in our representation video because there are going to be people that are like, well, Ilia's a villain, so it doesn't count. And I think that gay villains are just as good as gay heroes if they're well written. Like, it doesn't really matter. And I think Ilia up to this point has.
Hero.
Yeah, and I feel like Ilia isn't even a villain. She's just an antagonist. Because if this story was from Ilia's point of view, I think that we would all feel for her, to be honest. You know what I mean?
I think quite a lot of people still do.
Yeah, and so I'm just saying for those people, like, if it was opposite, Blake would be the antagonist, right? Being a villain isn't the same as being the antagonist. You can still be a villain and be the protagonist of the story. Protagonist is just who the story follows.
We all went to the same grade 9 English class that you did,
so
Cal.
I don't think that Ilia is villainous. I don't think that she's even bad. She's just... like, sad, you know what I mean? And, like, I think a lot of people can relate to that, you know what I mean? Like, we've all done some stupid things when we love somebody, and I think that, as teenagers especially, I think that we've done some stupid things that we look back on, and we're like, they didn't really deserve that I did that, and I feel like that's the phase that Ilia is just going through.
I mean, you did, I'm perfect, so.
Okay.
We're just better than you.
Anyway, so I feel like Ilia attacking Sun makes sense now, because not only did Sun say something insensitive, but I think Ilia saw Sun and was just like, oh no, it's Adam all over again, and wanted to get rid of him before it was, you know, at least incapacitate him a little.
She probably felt it was insensitive.
Well, yeah, there's that.
Something that she's very particular about.
Yeah, but I think it's also, that Adam was a bad guy, if that makes sense. And so Sun says something insensitive, and that's the first thing that he ever says, and then Ilia looks at that and she's like, oh my god, like, Blake has fallen for another Adam all over again because this guy is an asshole, without actually seeing more of Sun, if that makes sense, right? And so I feel like it is about how hurtful that comment was, but it's about why, I don't want to say why that comment was hurtful to her, but the fact that Blake has already been somebody that was hurtful and mean, if you want to put it that way. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And so she sees Sun for the first time, and the first thing that Sun says is something that is assholey, and she's like, oh my god, it's happening again. You know what I mean? It's not that she was like, oh, like, Sun is taking the love of my life away, I must kill him. No, it's just like, she saw her friend, who was already in an abusive relationship with somebody terrible, going into another, like, perceived by her as with somebody that was just as much as an asshole. And so she was like, yes.
I don't think it was that. I think it was more the comment.
I mean, I thought that before, but I'm saying with the context of her having feelings now, which we didn't have when she first attacked Sun in Volume 4.
Maybe.
I'm not saying that this is a fact. I'm just saying this is how I interpret it now.
I just don't like the characterization of her being like a jealous ex-girlfriend.
I mean, she's not.
I mean, she is, and I like that.
But I'm saying that
it is, but to that degree, I don't know.
But I don't think that's her being a jealous ex-girlfriend. I think that's her saying that, like, my friend was already in an abusive relationship with an asshole, and now she's in another relationship with an asshole again. Like, I feel like that's just a friendship thing, not even a girlfriend thing. Like, you understand what I mean? Like, I don't see that as that having any you don't need to be in a relationship to feel that way necessarily. I feel like there's a lot of stories where the friends have been saying, like, you're making the same mistake with the same guy over again. You know what I mean?
Sure,
We're the same type of guy, I should say. And so I understand what you mean, but I don't think that makes her, like, psychotic or anything.
No.
Or jealous.
I never claimed to make her psychotic.
Like, I don't think that makes her any more jealous. I think that just makes her... Like, I think that shows more her feelings about Blake than anything, because she's not saying that she's jealous of Sun, but she's saying, like, oh my god, like, this guy is exactly like Adam, what the fuck? Like, you thought you learned the first time, but you didn't, you know?
She's Blake's sassy gay friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Literal sassy gay
And so, I feel like Ilia sending, like, notes was kind of another thing where we should have been like, that's kind of gay. You know what I mean? Just because...
Notes!
Like, that's such a schoolgirl thing to do. Like, before, like, I don't...
It was pretty, like, secretive.
Yeah, I don't know if, like, and, like, she's obviously done it before because she wrote B and then I, you know? It wasn't like, Blake, this is from Ilia. We've totally never sent notes before, and so you need to know it's... You know what I mean? It had the vibe that, like, she's done this before. They've passed notes.
I don't know about that.
They've passed notes in class.
Alright, sure.
Like, I don't know, like, if kids still do this because of cell phones and whatnot, but, like, I definitely did this as a kid. Like, I definitely sent notes.
Did that.
Well, you don't love anybody, so that's your...
This is also true.
That's your fault. So I feel like both of those actions make sense now with Ilia's motivations. Okay, maybe the note thing is a bit of a stretch, but at the same time, I'm like, that is totally, like, in elementary school, you have a crush on someone and you send them a note material. You know what I mean? That's just what I think, okay? You don't need to agree with me.
That's why I wasn't taking notes. No one had a crush on me.
Exactly. Like, you don't need to agree.
Exactly, Hunter.
I'm just saying that that's what I think that it is, okay? And so, like, I feel like we always kind of knew that Ilia liked her, because I don't know why. Hunter and I have the best gator ever.
No, motherfucker, I was always, like, #1 for the Ilia and Blake were gay idea. That was...
I mean, we kind of talked about this in our shipping video, too, and we were like, like,
from
that's
day one,
like, from day one, we knew. Like,
Before
Rooster Teeth
Ilia...
watched our video,
No,
and they
here's
laughed.
the thing.
Like, they were like, all these kids.
Before I shipped Ilia and Blake, before Ilia and Blake existed,
there
I
was
like,
Mina and...
The second I read that fanfiction, I was like, this is gonna happen.
I feel like that Ilia's motivations are because she's heartbroken by Blake to an extent. And that's, again, we talked about this in our Yang comparison video. That's kind of like, because even if Yang doesn't like Blake romantically, she's still heartbroken by the fact that Blake left. I feel like that's a totally normal reaction for even a friend or a best friend. You know what I mean? And so, there's obviously that. And so I feel like her motivation that... Hunter said this before, I think, and I think it was the perfect summing up of sorts, is that Ilia, yeah, she's mad that Blake sort of broke her heart, but she's using that anger now to fight for the White Fang. Is that something along the lines that you said?
I've talked so much in these fucking videos, I have no idea.
But you remember saying that, right?
Sure.
Like, if you could repeat what you said again, if you remember it.
Nope.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, I probably did say that she's sort of funneling her anger for Blake into, and then putting that into the cause.
Like, she's putting her passion back into something to kind of get her mind off Blake, if that makes sense. And I feel like we've all done that, you know, like, you guys, if you guys don't know, I sing, right? And so, in the past, whenever, like, a person has, like, hurt my feelings, I'll be like, you know, singing Burn at the top of my lungs.
You're so fucking
No Good
angsty.
Deed is also a popular choice, from Wicked. Like...
You're so fucking angsty, goddamn cow.
Like,
why am I your friend?
Am I wicked through and through? You know what I mean? I can't sing right now, I'm losing my voice, I'm sorry. But, like, I feel like Ilia's sort of the same way. And so, to make a quick comparison already, I know you guys don't like when I talk about Wicked, but...
No one likes it.
Elphaba is sort of heartbroken by the fact that she thinks that she can't save Fiero's life, and she takes out that anger on instead deciding that, okay, so now I guess it's finally time for me to be wicked, I guess, you know what I mean?
Well,
like,
let's be evil, guys, back it in.
Exactly, and so instead of focusing on Fiero because she's heartbroken because she thinks Fiero is dead, Fiero has broken her heart at this point,
or, as is said in the musical, Fiero!
How do you know that?
Because I watched the fucking musical.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I forgot. Anyways, so...
My god, you force feed literally everything you've ever liked. Like,
like...
I watched this television show when I was 2. I briefly remember it. Let's watch. I watched House of Anubis. God, that show sucked ass.
Fiero! That was pretty bad. I'm sorry.
Mine was far better.
Some paper just fell.
My god, just the noxious gas knocked over some
Sorry,
paper.
I'm usually a better singer than that, guys. I'm kind of embarrassed, but it's okay. You guys, I sung that song in the Discord last night. So some of you guys, like, note that I was on point, but I am losing my voice. I probably shouldn't have done that. Anyways, so I feel like that's kind of the same. Or even if you think Glinda, in Wicked, it's that Glinda is so heartbroken by the fact that Elphaba kind of leaves her that she funnels all of her emotion into, like, trying to tell Oz that everything is perfectly okay. There is no Green Witch on the loose, and she kind of puts her energy into that cause, and she's very hurt. And she also then goes after Fiyero because she wants to try to funnel her emotional state into another person. But Fiero's like, nah, I don't like this bitch. So again, that's just the comparison I thought of. I'm not saying, like, they're based on Wicked. Like, no. It's just, like, that's the first one that I thought of that made sense to, like, something that I've watched before that I could compare this to, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like other characters do that too. It's definitely not just Wicked by any means. Like, you could also say, like, for Kingdom Hearts, for something like that.
Of course, because if it's not a musical, it's fucking Kingdom Hearts.
Like,
watch something else for once in your life.
That Roxas, after he loses Xion, is so heartbroken, he tries to go and take on the organization all by himself, and he kind of gets his ass kicked, but, like, that's another story. Another side, another story. That's what it's called. See, I'm funny. Anyways, so yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about that, because I feel like Ilia's motivations is not, like, I am a psychotic girlfriend. Like, no, that's supposed to be Adam, where Ilia is more just hurt, you know? Like, let her be hurt. Like, we have to remember these characters are still teenagers, right? And so even if you're like, wow, that's so dumb, like, why would Ilia do... No, like, they're kids to an extent. You know, like...
Fuck that, I was smarter than that.
Well, you never gave a shit about anybody until it's different. And so, like...
You give too much of a shit. That's the issue.
For me... Like, if you guys don't know, probably by the time this video was came out, I just turned 18. And so, like, I'm kind of in the mind of a teenage girl, and so that's why I kind of get mad when people are like, well, Blake is so stupid, it's so unrealistic, or that, like, Ilia is like, no, these are very much teenager things, I would say, at least in my teenage experience, and I wasn't... Like, I wouldn't say I'm the only one that executed some of these actions. Like, even my friends, like...
Executed.
Even my friends, if they had broken up with someone, these were kind of the sort of things, or if they were rejected by someone, they would kind of funnel all of their energy into something, and we know that they would have been mad about that, but instead they were like, no, I'm fine, I want to focus on this cause right now, or this thing, or, you know what I mean? And so, like... I don't know. I feel like I have unique experience as a teenager, whereas I know a lot of other RWBY reactors and people that make RWBY videos are older and they're also guys. And so I feel like it's a little different. Like, not to say that guys don't do this too, but I don't know. I feel like girls talk about their feelings more with their friends. Like, would you say that's true, Hunter? Like, did you and any of your guy friends have, like, a real heart-to-heart? Like, you would have a heart-to-heart with me? Like, if you remember the people that I'm talking about that I knew from school. Like, would you say that you guys had a good heart-to-heart conversation?
I was probably better friends with them than you were with your friends, retrospectively.
No, but I mean, like, did you and, like... Okay, I don't want to say any names, but...
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Did you guys have, like, a romance
I wonder if Hunter's thinking before he talks.
Okay, just, like, consider.
That's against the rules in the Calxiyn slave pits. I don't know if you've noticed. Probably, yes. Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, no, yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, but did they ever do that with you?
Yeah, no, that's precisely what happened. They did that with me.
What do you mean?
They did that with me.
What did they do?
I don't want to fucking out my friends.
I don't want to out your friends either, but I'm just saying.
Their dad had a stroke and they were like, shit,
I'm talking about relationships.
Oh, well, none
I'm talking about love and shit.
Yeah, probably also, but most of them didn't have relationships throughout high school. They were
like, I'm saying where they you know, like, this person, like, broke my heart, so I'm gonna be angsty and join a terrorist organization, like, or fight for some sort of cause or something.
I forgot about Billy, who joined ISIS after Susan dumped him.
That's not what I mean.
Shit, I forgot.
I mean, like...
What a fool of me.
If, like, they were, like, you know, like, I'm, like, really upset about this girl dumping me right now, so I'm just gonna go in my room and play my guitar and just play my guitar until my fingers bleed. Like,
none of my friends played guitar.
But you understand what I'm saying, right? Just,
yes, but...
Just, I don't mean, I mean relationships. I feel like guys are, like, they don't want to talk about how they feel about girls sometimes.
Oh, just, you fucking, okay, just, you could have said that and not, like, forced your way through me not agreeing.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying. You just weren't listening. We're talking about love here, Hunter.
Cal, you're right. Like, you're not right. Really. At least not in my situation.
Well...
There's also some, like, girls who will not fucking, like, people will not... You also will not tell. Well, you're not... It's like, I'm not upset. It's something that, like, you will not be genuine about your emotions.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that's more of a girl thing. To be like, oh no, I'm not mad about Blake. I'm rooting for the, like, I'm working hard for the fun.
But then you're also saying, you're saying, like, you're saying that, like, you'll be like, oh, like, I'm having a heart-to-heart with you, but you're also saying, like, oh, I won't admit to what I'm upset. You can't have a heart-to-heart when you're not, like, won't admit to that you
But Ilia hasn't had a heart-to-heart to anybody.
She kinda had a heart-to-heart.
When?
With Blake,
I mean, that
right
was
there.
Way too late.
She also had a heart-to-heart talking about, like, her friends growing... I don't fucking know. Anyways.
Yeah, and so she was able to open up to her because she wanted to fuck her. That's what I'm saying.
I could stay close to the people whom I want
to fuck. But I'm saying that, like, you know, like... I feel like it's even a meme now that girls are like that they say that they're fine and they're not really fine.
That's not a meme. That's just been like everyone does that.
I know, but a lot
no
of
one
people,
wants to deal with people's shit.
A lot of people make like memes about that now because the internet, obviously. I don't know. Like listen. I'm a girl, okay, so I don't know anything about guys. All right, I'm going off of the assumption based off of like my group of friends in high school. None of the guys got touchy-feely with each other, okay? Like, Hunter, you're a very sensitive person. You're very special.
They also didn't like
so
you that much.
Maybe you're different.
Like, you didn't have very good friends.
Okay.
Like, I'm surprised. I think you were just sort of in the periphery there.
I know, but I still observed and took notes.
I observed
and, like, whatever.
in the whilst I was sitting down at the school dance.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I still saw kind of what happened, and, like, I don't know. I just feel like girls are different. That's all. That's it. And so I feel like, as a teenage girl, I have some unique experience. That's
Bitches,
all.
am I right?
And so, like,
fellas.
Again, my original point was that I feel Ilia and Blake are just, like, when people, like, oh, this is so unrealistic, and I'm like, well, have you ever been a teenage girl before? Because I can tell you this is exactly what they do most of the time.
It's almost like teenage girls are entirely separate human beings that experience life of a plethora of ways, and that, you know, claiming any, like, universality will bottleneck the whole situation.
I'm just saying that, like, I feel like when people say something's unrealistic, it's because they don't know. You know what I mean? Like, when they're saying, oh, like, I'm a 40-year-old man saying how Blake is acting is unrealistic. Like, no, you haven't been a teenage girl. You're not even in that age group. And so I'm just saying, like, I feel like I'm around that age, so I understand her motivations. I've seen, like, my own friends do this, and, like, I feel like guys wouldn't get it, because I feel like their guy friends are not like Ilia, at least. Or at least they don't know if they are, but that's fine. That was just my original point. I feel like we've gotten so off topic. We didn't really need to have a giant talk
I disagree
about
with your assumptions about the male gender, but I digress.
I mean, like, I would say that's most common, because guys are taught not to open up about their emotions. And so, not that guys don't want to do that, but I feel like guys are deterred from doing that.
Alright, I'll argue that.
Yeah, and so, like, that's just kind of what I mean. I'm not saying, like, oh, guys never want to talk about their feelings. It's more like, guys probably would act the same way girls do if they were allowed, quote-unquote. But a lot of guys feel like they can't do that. And I feel like a lot of their friends would also laugh at them at the same time, if their friends are dicks. Lots of people are dicks in high school, too.
Your friends are dicks, but I digress.
They're not my friends anymore. We've been out for a while. Anyways, that's kind of all I wanted to talk about. I'm sorry we got kind of off topic, but I feel like this sort of dialogue is also useful, because eventually we get to kind of where I wanted to be, or where we wanted to be.
We take the long way home.
Yeah. And, like, it's fine. I get more ad revenue however long the video is anyway, so it's okay.
And I still have more time in this dungeon of a basement.
Anyway, guys, we'll see you later. But yeah, this is a conversation that we can even have in the comments if you guys kind of get my point. But I feel like people are gonna, like, stop halfway and be like, no, Cal, guys aren't like that, and I'll have to explain what I originally meant, and I'll be like, did you watch the rest of the video? And they'll be like, no. I'll be like, well, see? Anyways, so I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and yeah, that was just talking about Ilia's motivations and I guess high school, and there you go. We wrapped that all into one, and we'll see you later. Bye, guys!